Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. As usual, I'll be giving just 1 minute to allow you guys to come in before we start the business of the day. But even as you guys keep coming in, I just want to say a shout out to each and every one of you. How have you guys been? How is the weather treating each and every one of you? Hope things have been moving on smoothly. Like I said, I'll be giving just a minute. I can see quite a number of people already on board. I guess I will just take it up from here, even as more people join us for the event. Good afternoon once again, and welcome. For those of you that are joining us for the first time, my name is Gabo Esiahaya, and I'm a training coordinator with the Temple Small Business Development Center. The Temple Small Business Development Center helps small business start and grow. We offer free one-on-one consulting and a variety of low to low cost webinars. We are proud to be part of the nationally accredited network of the Small Business Development Centers, which has over 1,000 networks across the United States. We're here this afternoon for a webinar on make better business decisions with Google Analytics. A copy of the PowerPoint and the link to the recording will be sent to all the attendees. Being a webinar, all the attendees have been muted. However, we always encourage you guys to drop your questions on the Q&A or the chat box. Without further ado, please allow me to welcome my wonderful participant, even my wonderful presenter, even as she takes over the floor for the presentation. Soleil, you're welcome once again.
Thank you, Garva, so much. Hello, everyone, and good afternoon to you. I am excited to be here with you today. I'm glad to see so many of you joining to learn more about analytics and how you compare it with your business. I put something in the chat. The chat is where we will spend a lot of time engaging today. So make sure that you go ahead and use the chat to introduce yourself now. Let me know about your business. I love going through and following and connecting with a lot of the small business owners in the region. And also you can drop your questions as well. So this particular workshop, we're going to hold all the questions until the end. So make sure when you have a question, you either drop it in the Q&A or put it in the chat, and we will do our best to try to get to all of them today. And if we don't, then we will follow up with you all with some answers to your questions, or you're always welcome to reach out to me directly with any questions that you have. So let's go ahead and get started. My name is Soleil Meade. I am the owner of Soleil Branding Essentials, which is a full service graphic and branding agency. I help small businesses like yourself, speakers, community leaders, really bring their vision to life through branding. In addition to that, I am proudly your Pennsylvania Grow with Google digital coach. I absolutely love what I'm doing here as a fellow small business owner. I know how difficult it is to tap into resources. So many of us are working our business, like working in our business, that it's hard to work on our business. So I salute each and every one of you all that are on this call today and even watching later for that dedication to your business and its growth. This workshop is going to be extremely interactive today. I'm going to drop things in the chat, but the next thing I'm going to drop is my contact information, because you all can absolutely reach out to me with any questions, any suggestions that you might have for upcoming workshops, even if you've had an impactful experience with one of our workshops and you're like, I want to let Soleil know that I applied these tips and this is what happened with my business. I want to hear all about it. So feel free to reach out to me. The Digital Coaches Program also has social media, and I'm going to drop that information in the chat as well. Make sure you follow us on Instagram. You can also go ahead and tag us in any of the posts that you may want to make about your time with us here today. So again, make sure you put your questions in the chat or in the Q&A portion, and I'll make sure I will answer them as we move along. So we always start this workshop with this particular quote: data makes your briefcase heavy, but insights make you rich. The core of that particular quote is so powerful because we are overloaded with data on a daily basis. There's all types of numbers and statistics coming to us, but insights and how that data can translate into an insight, which actually gives us some direction on how to pivot and how to apply that data to our business is what we are seeking after. So we don't want to necessarily have a badge of honor because our website or our app or our social media platforms have all this data, but what are you doing with the data? How is it informing your next decision or your next product that release? It is literally that insight makes you rich, and not just rich financially, but rich in your mindset to use the patterns that you see in the data, to use the connections and the demographics that you see to really understand your consumers' behavior. So we're going to get in that today. But before I go any more, I want to know how familiar you are with analytics. So if you are not familiar at all, I want you to put a 1 in the chat. If you're somewhat familiar, put 2. If you're very familiar, put a 3 in the chat. That's going to help me to know where most of you are. Looks like I have a lot of 1s and 2s. Tiffany's a 3. So Tiffany is probably very much so used to analytics and has used it before. So we have a lot of 1s and 2s. So some people who don't know anything about analytics, some people who know have some working knowledge. So today we are going to get into that and really hopefully help introduce you to the importance of what analytics is, as well as how you can set it up for your business to help you make better decisions. So I kind of already touched on this because what the data is doing is it is telling a story, the demographics of where your consumers or potential customers are from. How did they find you? Did they find you directly through Google? I just got finished talking with a client about that the other day. If your potential customers are finding you through Google, that means they're searching for you. If they find you on social media, 9 times out of 10, you probably popped up in their feed, somebody shared something. But if they're finding you on Google, which is the largest search engine in the world, they're searching for whatever it is you have to offer. Those insights, that data is pivotal for you to make decisions that better flow your business. So I'm going to go ahead and play this quick video for you all, and let's check out how analytics has helped this small business.
A woman entrepreneur at T-Drops. We had 15 incredible, amazing women who are very diverse. We really try to create a supportive and loving environment that enables women to, reach their highest potential. I launched T-Drops in 2015. In the early days, I used Google Analytics pretty heavily because I didn't know much about who our customer was or who was coming to our site. Our customer base is primarily female, about 90%, and her average age is around 36 years old. 60% of our customers are moms, so very busy and on the go.
With Google Analytics, there's just a wealth of information, including behavioral interest. We were able to create 3 specific personas and target those personas with our use of Google Ads. We've seen our new traffic increase by 218% for that channel, really helping to drive our new customer acquisition.
We use that to really shift our strategy for us to continue on our mission to deliver self-care tea experiences that really matter. Also, I really wanted T-Drops to have a social mission behind it. We're really proud to have a female-forward supply chain. And so by deciding to source fair trade, we are really leveling up the playing field. And so I think that ultimately is my drive, is that I have this opportunity. I never thought that I could actually build a company where I could now employ people and build this whole supply chain. And so to see that impact, to see it continue to grow and to build this extended community around it is something that's truly a dream.
So I love that. I love that our workshops are infused with examples of how small business owners, just like you and I, have used our products and tools and have really catapulted their business to the next level. So I want to briefly go over the agenda for today. We are going to do an introduction to Google Analytics. We're going to go through some basic features and reports that are accessible within your analytics account. We're going to talk about the search box, as well as pairing Google Analytics with ads, and then we'll wrap up. I know someone had asked a question about saving the chat, and it is possible that it is not an option that's available to participants. I do want to encourage you all that we will give a handout at the end of the workshop that will review everything we went over. You can also take screenshots of any screens that highly interest you, and this recording will also be available for replay to you. So let's go ahead and drop in the chat and share with me some of the things you're looking forward to learning today about analytics. And if you have used analytics before, tell us how it has benefited your business and some challenges that you may have with it as well. I want to introduce you all to Eva and Ricky. So they are going to be the case study that we'll be using to kind of maneuver through understanding analytics in this workshop today. So this is an entrepreneurial team, and they started out by selling boutique fashion at like craft fairs and local events. Over time, they built a very solid customer base who really loved their designs, and they kept coming back for more. So then they decided to stop selling at these fairs and local events due to the pandemic. They had to pivot their business, so they started an online store. So in the past, they have been making most of their big decisions about their business based off of their gut instincts, right? Because their gut instincts got them there. The designs that they thought about, the choice to showcase at craft fairs and local events were all things that even Ricky were like, you know what? We should just do that. Like, let's just try this out. But then they realized that selling online really gave them an opportunity to really grow beyond their loyal customers. They were able to realize that it might be a good time to start working smarter and not harder. So we're going to use Eva and Ricky throughout this entire workshop, and we're going to talk about their clothing business and how they are using their online business and analytics to drive their decisions. Now, I do want to know in the chat from you all, how many of you all can relate to Eva and Ricky? These are people who are making decisions based off of their gut instinct or their passion. Type 1 for yes and 2 for no if that is you. I know that I have been guilty of it before. As small business owners, we are fueled by passion and a vision. And sometimes that's all we need to get us to see it come to life. But that's why this workshop is so important, because it is going to really pivot us to not let go of your passion and your gut instincts. We want to honor them because they are a lot of times what makes what we do fun. But we also want to, like Tiffany says, she's a numbers person, and Tiffany is pretty experienced in analytics. So she understands the value of data and insights and numbers to help drive your decisions so you make smarter moves. So we just talked about the gut instinct versus the data-driven decisions. Eva and Ricky, they knew their face-to-face customers. They knew that they loved fashion and they loved authentic designs, but they couldn't understand why their popular local items weren't selling online. And that's whenever they decided to shift. Like, knowing our customers and what they love and like is just one part of the picture. They also identified a problem that these popular local designs were only selling in their local market. They weren't selling online. So now they have a problem, and they're just like, okay, let's see how we can use analytics, data, and insight to actually solve that problem. So I do want to know, has anyone heard of SMART goals before? Most people, whenever I do this workshop, has absolutely heard of it. Let me know in the chat. 1 for yes, 2 for no. Some of you all are saying yes already. So I'm going to go through this, but you all probably already know SMART goals. So you want to apply a SMART goal and create a SMART goal, even whenever you're dealing with your analytics when it comes to your business. So with a SMART goal, you want to make sure that the goal that you set is specific, meaning that it is like not just make more sales calls. No, we want to make at least 10 more sales calls within this week. We don't just want to increase website visits. We want to increase it by 20% in the next quarter. So you want to be specific with your goals. You also want to make sure that the goal you set is measurable, meaning that you have some way to track it and to measure it. Google Analytics and the reports that you can pull from there are absolutely helpful in you measuring the success of your goal. Also, it's attainable. So we want you all to dream big, but we also want you to be realistic. You don't want to set a goal is to, increase your website visits by 1,000%. And you barely have any website visits at the moment. You don't have a strong social media presence or a marketing plan. So although all of those things I just mentioned are great, the fact that we don't have any of them into play doesn't make that goal attainable. So you want to set a goal that you can actually reach. We also want it to be relevant. How is the goal aligning to the business? For instance, if you say, the goal is to grow my email list by 75% by the end of the year. And that sounds like a great goal, but if you don't use email marketing, how is it relevant to the business, right? You want to set a goal to maybe get 75% free consultation by the end of the year because you do them on a regular basis and time bound. So make sure you have a deadline for it. So you want to have a deadline for your goal that you are setting. And that is what we like to call a SMART goal. Having business goals is really important whenever you're integrating a product like analytics. I'm curious, put an exclamation point in the chat. How many of you all have done things in your business just because someone that you trusted or have had success in their business said this is something that you need to do? Put an exclamation point in the chat. I'm going to put a bunch and an A because it just made it there. I don't know why, but I've done that a lot. And that's not always it's definitely not the best way to do things. Sometimes what they're telling you to do is great, but it might not make sense for you and your business. So you want to have a goal. I want you all to start thinking about what are your website goals. And if you want to, you can drop it in the chat. What are the website goals that you have? Because what happens is when you go in with a goal and you set up analytics, then you're able to look at reports and look at data and insights that are a response to your goal. And that's where we want to get you to. So what are goals? So your goals might be to get more sales, get more leads, make more appointments. Or we mentioned consultations. You might want to get more phone calls to your business. You might want to get more foot traffic into your brick and mortar store. You might want people to download your ebook. We mentioned newsletters. There are so many different types of goals that you can set for your business. And remember to make it SMART. So we have 30 web orders a day, new customer orders from Google search, repeat web customers from Rachel. That's excellent. So 30 web orders a day is measurable. So whenever you are on analytics, you'll be able to see and set for a particular day how many web orders you get. Your new customers, you would be able to create a report and look at where your new customers are coming from, since Google is one of your goals. And repeat customers, we'll talk about that a little later, but there is a report that helps you to somewhat gather if your customers are loyal and coming back. So you all are putting some great goals in the chat. I want to make sure that you put them down somewhere because it's going to help as that framework to drive you as you learn more about analytics. So analytics is a no cost software. I mean, it's absolutely free that you can install within your website, and it's going to help you understand the behavior and the actions that customers and potential customers are taking when it comes to your website. So we use Google Analytics to help us to understand what the behavior is, what website visitors are like, where they're from. We also use it to learn, because now once I understand what you're doing on my site, for instance, if someone is spending a lot of time on your about page, I just went over some analytics with a client, and it proved that their events page was like one of their top visited page, their events and their about page. So as a web developer myself, I'm like, we need to make sure that both of those pages also lead visitors to whatever prominent information we want our visitors to digest, because those are the places they're spending the most time. So again, once you understand what's happening on the website, then you start to learn more and implement and think about different strategies. If they are running a capital campaign and I know that their events page and the about page are most visited, I better make sure I put a special blurb or a call out information on those pages to make sure that visitors know to check out the capital campaign. And ultimately, it helps you to make better decisions. So why use Google Analytics? It takes your user from one page of useful content to the next until they finally take an action. The ultimate goal is for the goal that you set to be reached, right? So that only happens whenever your customer takes some type of action. Google Analytics and the reports that we process can show you when that process is going smoothly. So yes, someone is going from the home page to the about page, and then they're going to the shop. It also will let you know if there's stumbling blocks. So say, the shop is a part of your journey that you want them to go on, but no one's making it to checkout. Then analytics is telling you like, wait, flag, something's happening here. They're not making it to the next step of your process, and why? Maybe, you're making them log in before they can make a purchase. And again, we're going to get into this more as we dive deeper. So it's going to also allow you to create content that your audience might want to hear more of, and you can create campaigns around that. I do want to touch on switching to GA4. So any of you who are already signed up for Google Analytics, you've probably been getting emails like I have been, that's letting me know, like, if you're not switched over to GA4 and you're still using Universal Analytics, it's going to be going away this summer. I'm about to drop in the chat some pretty detailed information about the steps that you can take to switch over or to check which version that you have. What's happening is the GA4 is going to replace Universal Analytics. So you want to try to make sure that you make the switch. You're not going to lose any information. You might, if anything, just lose a day or so of and probably just the day of like tracking data, because it's going to be switching over. But all of your data from your previous property that you set up is going to transfer over to GA4. The reason why we are transferring, because GA4 is more privacy focused, and it helps us to adapt to the technology landscape as it's evolving. It also uses machine learning. AI, artificial intelligence, is super popular right now. Once upon a time, it was something that we heard on TV screens, and now it's something that we can pull up through ChatGPT or Bard, which is Google's AI platform. So, GA4 is going to use AI to populate information that's most relevant for you. So don't be afraid. Take information from here. If you need to switch over, check your emails. Literally, if you go to your email and type in Google Analytics, you're going to find a bunch of emails that they send you. There is literally an email that tells you like there's two ways you can handle it. You can do it manually your way, or you can walk step by step through a service that they set up to walk you through switching over. So that is going to be important to know. If you're setting up analytics for the first time, I want to go ahead and drop the information in the chat for you to go to g.co/analytics and then click on get started today. You want to sign into the account that you are actually running analytics on. For instance, I have a personal email, soleilmeade@gmail.com, but then I also have my business email that is more connected to my branding business. So I would want my analytics to be connected to my branding business. So that's how you go ahead and get everything up and running. So this here is showing you some of the migration and what that might look like to get over from Universal to GA4. I'm going to drop another piece of important information that gives you those step-by-step instructions in order to migrate. I do highly recommend using the setup assistant to move you through setting up your analytics account. I see Kristen is asking if you need to sign up for basic analytics and switch. No. So if this is your first time signing up, it's going to automatically sign you up under GA4. The migration is only relevant to people who have had analytics set up on their account over the past probably, I would say maybe about a year or so. We've been talking about this. So if you set up before about a year or so, then you're going to have to do the migration. So let's get into understanding your analytics account. This is probably one of my favorite parts because now we get to introduce to you some of the reports and different things that features of analytics that might help you to make those better decisions. So what you see here on the screen, it's showing your dashboard, and your dashboard are like those metrics and that information that you frequently look up whenever you're in the account. So again, GA4 is using AI because they know whenever you log into your analytics account, you're always looking at new users. You're always focused on what source they're coming from, if it's from Google, Facebook, such and such. So it's going to start to create your dashboard based off of what you look at. The default dashboard is going to answer some common reporting questions, but you also have the power to customize this dashboard based off of the goal that you have set. So from the dashboard, that's where you navigate to other areas or other reports that you might want to view. I do want to point out one important feature before we move on to digging into the different types of reports, and that's at the top of the page. You see the search box, and this tool connects you to analytics intelligence. So this is what makes it easier to find answers that you're looking for. So for instance, if you are looking for new web visitors, then if you type that into to the search box, the analytics intelligence is going to pull up various reports and data that's answering the question that you're searching. So it's really cool. We want people, our customers, to find us through Google search, but now Google is even using a search box within the products that we use as small business owners to help us find what we need. So same content that you're looking for. So let's go ahead and get into the reports. There are several types of reports that we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about real-time reports and why that one makes sense, acquisition reports, where visitors are coming from, engagement reports, like what are they looking at on your site, even monetization, which is important if you have an e-commerce site, you're selling products, and also retention. So retention is the one that really helps to tie you in to if customers are loyal and coming back to your site. And then I believe we're also going to talk about the tech report, which kind of lets you know what browsers they're using to look at your site and what devices. And I'll tell you why those things are important. So this is a standard report. You can create any report, customize the report, such as the date range. You can also use the filter to like narrow down the information. Literally, the sky is the limit. That is why it's so important when you go into analytics that you have a goal. So, if your goal is to, increase your website visitors over the next month, then maybe making a bullet list of what you're looking for. So you're going to be looking at website visitors. You may be looking at how much time they spend on the site. Which is also, correlated to bounce rate. You would want a low bounce rate because people aren't just coming and then leaving, they're staying for a while. So you want to kind of create a strategy and a plan that's surrounded by your goals. So you're very intentional when you're coming in to look at Google Analytics. So a note to, keep in your mind is that the numbers shown in analytics may not be exact. However, they're accurate enough to give you a solid understanding and to monitor trends. People are active on the World Wide Web probably every single second of every single day. So it's hard to have like 100% accurate information, but it is very, very accurate enough for you to make decisions. So let's go ahead and talk about the real-time report. So a real-time report is going to help you monitor activity on your app or your website as it is happening. And some of you might say, well, why would I ever need a real-time report? So a popular trend right now is that if you have like a product that you sell or a service that you sell, you might do a flash sale. And a flash sale might just be going on for just a couple of hours. So this flash sale you're posting for your event or for your product, whatever it is, you're having this flash sale. So if you go to the real-time report, log into your analytics, pull up that real-time report during the time that your flash sale is from 2 to 4 Eastern Standard Time, you are literally going to be able to see if at 2:01, all of a sudden your posts on socials have been scheduled to release, and now between 2 and 2:10 you're noticing people are clicking on the site. You're able to see some of the numbers in the last 30 minutes. You're able to see where they're coming from, whether they're new users or an audience based off of some of the reporting conditions that you set, because you can also set audiences in Google Analytics. It's going to tell you what content they're engaging in. And I'm sure if you have a flash sale, the main page you want them to go to is the shop or, your event page where they can purchase tickets, whatever your product may be. So you'll be able to look at that in real time. It helps you to continuously monitor what's happening in real time. So next report is the acquisition report. This report is telling you how users are making their entrance and arriving to your site. So this user acquisition really gives them an overview of how they find you. So are they coming to you from Google search? Are they coming to you from Instagram, Facebook, TikTok? Is it organic, meaning that an organic way might be them coming from a newsletter that you shared, or maybe you're sharing your link with someone at a presentation and they manually type in your website to visit it. It also lets you know where users are online right before they visited your site. So say you're running an ad or you have some coverage on like a local media source, it'll let you know if they came from around here. In the Pittsburgh area, we have a media source called Soul Pit Media. So if I'm running some ads on Soul Pit Media, then that traffic acquisition report is going to let me know they came from the Soul Pit Media site to get to my website, right? So that's another really important. Well, it's important if that is what matters to you, because my goal is to tell you to make sure you integrate all of these different reports into your system for processing data and insights. my goal is for you to be able to look at your goal and say, which reports do I need to focus on? This next one is the engagement report. So this one is showing you how people are interacting with your site. Are they on the shop or are they on the checkout page? If they're scrolling down the page really slow, it will let you know that, because if they're going really slow, it means they're reading the page, they're spending time on it. If they're looking at your product details a lot on a product page, a specific product page, that might let you know that that's one of your top products and you might want to highlight it or feature it. If they're watching a video like T Drops has, that's on their about page, it's going to let you know that. So this engagement is going to let you know how people are spending time on your site. An engaged session is one that has at least 10 seconds or longer. It's lasting 10 seconds or longer. It has one or more conversion event, meaning it is responding to some type of call to action. It is conversion, either them like typing in their email to your newsletter or checking out, and then it has 2 or more page views. So whatever you see in your engagement reports, analytics already has a baseline to make sure that they're giving you credible information on that engagement. And then monetization is really important if you have an e-commerce site. This is where it's telling you more than just if people are buying your stuff. It's letting you know if that revenue is generated from just organic product sales or from ads or from a subscription. It shows you that in this monetization report. It lets you see the number of views for each item that you sell, the number of ad impressions that might be happening within your app, and so much more. So if you are selling a product online, you want to make sure that you check out your monetization report. Also, we have the retention report. So this one is tricky. I usually get a lot of questions whenever we do this one, because they're like, well, how does Google know? So again, this is a very big one that the numbers aren't always exact, but they are reliable and accurate enough for us to kind of take notice to what it's reporting. This is letting you know how frequently or how long users are engaging with your website after their first visit. So for instance, I've seen an ad pop up for this new, well, it's not new, but it's makeup, right? So I finally pulled the trigger and purchased the makeup, but then now all these ads keep popping up, right? So because of my initial purchase, I kind of visit their site now because I'm curious about some of the other products. That in turn is probably going to have me show up as a client or a customer that they have retained, because I'm making frequent visits to the site. I'm spending time reading reviews, watching videos to see if I'm literally prepping myself. Once I get my products in, if I love them, then I already know what I'm buying next. That's the idea of a retention report. It's letting you know how often are people coming back, how long are they staying on the site, and what do they return to when they do come back. Are they looking at products? Are they coming to make a review? Are they now looking to subscribe on a regular basis because they love it so much? So hopefully this is helping you all. The last report that we're going to talk about is the tech report. And then I'm going to pause because I know there are a couple of questions in the chat and I don't want to get us too behind on answering questions. So the last part is the tech report. And some people might say, oh, it's tech. I may not need to pay attention to this that much, but I promise you all, this report is important for you to at least look at in your initial engagement with analytics. So this is going to help you to understand the technologies that your audience is using to experience your website. So the reason why this is important, because it's going to tell you what browsers they're using. A lot of us develop our websites in Google Chrome, but we never take a chance to look at what our websites look like on Safari or Firefox or any of the other browsers that are used. Because what happens is sometimes your website will look different on different browsers. And with us, being at the helm of this user experience, we need to know where people are coming from. So if your report tells you, 90% of your people are coming from Chrome and then the rest are from Firefox, you as a business owner need to be very aware of what your website looks like on Chrome and Firefox. Another great example of why tech is important is going to tell you what devices that people are using to experience your website. In the client that I just reviewed analytics with, she had 50-50, 50% were on desktop and 50 were on mobile. So what that tells us is that we need to make sure that her website is literally top notch, both from the desktop experience as well as the mobile experience, because her audience is 50-50. So that's what that tech report will do. So I'm going to pause and see if you all had any questions in the chat. Monetization report is showing $0. This is something I need to fix with Google. Rachel, you can reach out to me directly because I would have some follow-up questions for you on that. It's possible that analytics isn't talking to your website properly for whatever reason. So that might be the reason why it may not be reporting properly. The search bar is there for all Google, not just our Google results. So the search bar within analytics is specifically for your analytics report, but the search bar at google.com is literally for every result from anyone. What Google does is, if me as a customer, I am typing in desserts or bakery treats near me, depending on all of the bakeries around me, how their website presence, the content that's on their website, Google is going to figure out who to put in front of me. Now, the search within analytics is specifically for you to tell analytics what you're looking for inside of your insights and your data. Because remember, data makes the briefcase heavy. There's going to be tons of data in your analytics, but insights make it rich. So imagine that whenever you type in your question or what you're looking for within analytics in the search engine, you're typing in your insights. You're letting analytics know, this is the information I'm looking for that's going to make me rich with insight, so I know how to make better decisions. I think I might have got most of the questions. I see some people talking about website development. I see one of my clients in here. Hey, Kristen. Good to see you. I do website development, but I primarily develop on Wix, but I am knowledgeable across all of them. If you ever have any questions about your website in any of the platforms, I'm more than willing to answer any questions you have. You just need to reach out to me directly. And then if you're not building on Wix, then I will try to refer you to someone on your respective site platform to help you get everything together. You absolutely can use analytics with a Shopify site. Most of website platforms like Wix, Shopify, they already have built-in analytics, but I promise you, it's always better to also have Google Analytics running. Wix actually sets it up very seamlessly, so it will kind of boost your reporting per se. Does it work on Apple? I think you mean like Apple products. Absolutely, it does. Analytics works both on your websites as well as applications. So if you have an app for your business, it'll work for that as well. So let me go ahead and move on because I want to make sure we cover everything that we're set to cover today. So somebody asked a question about the search box. So we're going to go in and talk about the search box a little more. I'm sorry, my screen has frozen for a minute. So while I'm getting it back up, I want to know, does the reports that we just talked about sound helpful to you all with your business and marketing strategies? Give me a 1 if yes, it's helpful and you're going to use it, a 2 for no. Yasmin, I see you asked about the best place to create a website. That really does depend on your business. Again, you can absolutely reach out to me. Jolene, I'm a lover of Wix, but that doesn't mean that it is the best platform for everyone. My client on here, Kristen, will tell you, like, as you learn your business and you experience a platform, you'll learn whether that platform is working for you or not. So it's really important that you have analytics and you spend the time with your website and you speak to a web developer in advance so they can maybe help give you some insight on the different types of platforms and some of their features. All right, so let's talk about search box. Most of you have heard about search box already because I talked about it. So we're going to talk about it a little bit more and how it works. So the search box in a nutshell is it allows you to type in your questions in everyday language and connects you with possible answers about your analytics reports. So analytics intelligence is going to power your insight and advanced features like conversion modeling. So let's talk about analytics intelligence a little bit more. So we looked at it before. It's right at the top of your dashboard or whatever screen that you're on, you'll see the search box. That is what we like to call analytics intelligence. It's going to help you to find admin pages. So I don't want you to think that you can only use that search box to look up data and insights about your business. If you need to find an admin page because you got a new assistant and you need to add them to analytics, then you could type in, help me find my admin page, or how do I add a new user to my account? It's literally like, it's literally a search, but it is specific to analytics and what you need. It's really straightforward. You could type in a word, phrase, or a question to get instant answers about reports, insights, or even content, help content in analytics. So if you enter in the question, which channel had the highest goal conversion rate, then you're going to see a report with a ranked list of goal conversion rates ordered by channel. Or if you wanted to give access to your new admin for analytics accounts, you can type in add new user and it's going to show you a link to the account access management, which takes you to that admin page where you can add a new user. And Yasmin, I see your question about how to get in contact with me. I promise you before the end of the chat, I will drop all of my information in again. So now we want to talk about custom insights versus analytics intelligence. So analytics intelligence is literally tracking what you are scrolling, the reports you're looking at, and putting that in front of you. But you also have the power to customize your insights up to 50 per property. So that means that what you can do is you can go ahead and tell analytics what it is that you want to see, and then they will actually email you alerts about the specific insights that you are setting that are important to you. So every time you interact with the insight, analytics intelligence is learning more about what it is that you're interested in, and it ranks that insight as high. Also, if you just set a custom insight, like I know I want to know how many new web visitors I have, then you let the system know that, and then it will send you alerts on it. I'm going to drop a resource in the chat that will give you some more insight on that. So if you want to do more yourself, you want to take the custom route, you're like, I like analytics intelligence, but I really drilled down on my goal. I believe it was Rachel who had very specific, very smart goals. You're like, I want to take a dive in this on myself. I want to spend a little bit of time covering what that looks like for you all. So you know that the search box is going to help you find information that you need. We already got that covered, but now you want to dig deeper. I want to run down a couple of terms that are important if you are navigating analytics outside of the AI, right? So you want to know about dimensions. So a dimension is, this is the official term for it, is a descriptive attribute or a characteristic of an object that can be given different values. Now, this example is going to help it make sense to you. A dimension could be your city. And then the values that connected to it could be Atlanta, Seattle, Pittsburgh, Philly, etc. Okay, so that's a dimension. Every report has a primary dimension. So this is where I'm primarily looking at all this data from. So say your primary dimension is your city, right? Then if you want to dig deeper, you can have a secondary dimension. So the primary dimension is your city, and then the secondary dimension is your browser. Remember, we talked about that. So now what the report is going to push out is this is the city that we are primarily focused on. But now I also want to know what browsers my users are using within this particular city. And then last but not least, you have segments. So segments allow you to make a subset of the data that you have. So give another example. You got the report about visitors from Philadelphia, and we learned that they're using Chrome browsers. A segment is going to allow you to look even deeper into that information and say, okay, I'm going to create a segment of Philadelphia Chrome browser users, and then I'm going to look at all of the data in their behavior on my website, because analytics has told me that they're my top city and this is the top browser they're on. I want to see how they're working. And that is how you can control the analytics narrative yourself. So you also can use explorations for more in-depth results. So standard analytics gives you a lot of information, but they operate with that standard set of data. So if you want to go even deeper, explorations has access to all of your data, and you can pick and choose what exactly you want to get more insights about. So the kind of specific information you might want to generate with explorations, it can help guide your business plan. So it's worth taking a look at that. Again, if you need questions, I can't tote myself as an analytics expert, but I'm more than willing to help you look into your information. If anyone finds themselves like, I'm at this explorations point, but I'm not sure what to look at or what I need to be drilling down on, I'm more than welcome to help you. So let's wrap this up and go back to Eva and Ricky. So we have here that they learned that they did achieve their SMART goal with their target cities, 3 target cities. You know, we talked about Philadelphia Chrome, and maybe they also had New York and Firefox, and you know, they set that up. They discovered that there were 3 cities that didn't perform in the same way. So what does that tell them? That in turn, they might not need to heighten the marketing in that area, but since they found their 3 areas that people love these designs that they have, a lot of marketing efforts and dollars go to them. And then that is what they ultimately decided. Now they had their top 3. They said, we want to drill down even more. Our plan going forward now, since we use analytics, is to focus on 2 cities and tailor most of our attention and focus to them. That will then let them know how their marketing efforts work, how their products are selling, so on and so forth. I do want to highlight the importance of using analytics with Google Ads together. The way that I like to describe it is analytics and ads, and a lot of our products tend to sing together. If you have analytics and you have an e-commerce site, you also should be using Merchant Center. And then you also can use Google Ads, because all of them will sing together. It will give you more visibility across the Google search network. So if you have Google Ads, you're going to want to link it to analytics, because then you're going to learn what happens after someone clicks on your ads in your analytics report. It helps you to be more strategic and understand the behaviors of your customers and how they're working. So did you all know that you can link analytics and ads together? Is anybody using them together? Let me know in the chat. 1 for yes, 2 for no. So it's really simple to connect the 2. You want to make sure that you have an active ads account and you want to have your analytics accounts. Once your accounts are set up, you want to go to the admin section of analytics. And then from there, you click the product that you want to connect under the property column. So that might be your website. The process might vary slightly based off of your ad setup, but it will take 24 hours for the information to appear. And then again, you want to make sure you register everything under the same email account that is connected to your business. So we cover a whole lot about analytics today. You guys asked some great questions. I want to know if you all have any other questions. I think we have a little under 5 minutes to answer some additional questions. I'm going to go ahead and drop question in the chat because I want to know how are you going to put this information to work today? You know, what was a highlight for you? What did you take away from today's workshop that you're going to really look into some more? Let me know. You can type 1 if you're going to review and update your analytics account, 2 if you're going to just set up account, or 3 if you're unsure but you're ready to learn more about analytics. You can always feel free to share what you learned in your own words as well. I love to hear it. Before I move on to do a recap and share some resources with you, I'm going to go ahead and drop in the handout for today. So the handout for today is going to give a high-level overview of everything that we covered. You can access it by clicking the link and then download that PDF onto your computer, or make sure you put it in your Google Drive. So I'm going to quickly go through my recap and resources. I'm going to drop my contact information, and then I'll turn it over to Garba because I know he has some additional information to give you as well. So we talked about the importance of setting up your account, making sure you migrate to GA4 if you set up, I can't remember the year, but it's July 2023, it's switching over. So if you have the universal analytics, you want to make sure you switch to GA4. You want to apply analytics so you can learn who your visitors are and measure the results. But you always want to start with the goal that a smart goal that you want to test out by using the data and insights that you have. I'm going to go and deliver a couple of really awesome resources that Google has to offer. One is Google certificates. I love the certification programs. I took the digital marketing and e-commerce one. It was absolutely amazing. It's very intense. Like, you could literally walk away learning a lot of information. If analytics is something that you're interested in, take the data and analytics one. You will walk away from that certification as an expert in analytics, or at least feeling like one. And then next, I just want to share with you our YouTube channel. At any point in time that you're wanting to learn more, grow your business more, please utilize our YouTube page. There's so many cool videos. Our summits are on there where you can just kind of absorb yourself in information. And then also google.com/grow. It's not just for small business owners, but anyone who's looking to grow their skill set, they can visit us there. I'm going to drop my contact information again. I'm also going to drop 2 different surveys for you all. And then Garba is coming to drop the Temple survey. Please complete, if you complete all the surveys, I love you forever. But definitely complete the Temple one. They need to know that you're benefiting and growing from this. One of the surveys that I'm sharing is a personal one that I created. It's very short. If you do complete that, then I will reach out to you and give you a free QR code for your business. And then the other one is actually our Grow with Google survey. And you just have to choose Pennsylvania. I'm going to pause and turn it over to Garba, and I'm going to drop my contact information in the chat for you all again. Thank you for your time today.
Soleil, thank you for a wonderful presentation. Quick one before we wrap it up. This goes to our wonderful attendees. I posted a 30-second survey about today's webinar. I just posted it for the 3rd time. Remember, we at Temple SPDC, we always cherish your feedbacks, even as it helps us in improving the services we provide to you guys at a low cost. So kindly take 30 seconds of your time to help us to fill out the survey link. Soleil, you can just continue.
Awesome. I don't see many questions in the chat. I love to see some of the actions that you all are taking. You're wanting to review your analytics reports, get your website set up so you can add the feature. A couple of you all said that you want to learn more. You definitely can reach out to me. And again, I will answer any questions that I can, but I'll also direct you to a resource that might be more helpful for you. Also tap into Temple's resources. They may have some additional classes or business coaches that can further support you with analytics as well. Missy, I see you asked what organic means in the analytic world. So organic is pretty much how people like literally naturally find your site. So that might be through browsing in a search. Sometimes organic is categorized, like say a friend of yours sends your website to another friend. That would be an organic search. You know, that's not a field of like a referral is not necessarily a field. If you have a newsletter and there's a button that links back to your website, then that might be considered organically, because the work that you're doing, just naturally promoting your business, is pulling people to your site. I hope that makes sense for you, Missy. And I really appreciate all of the engagement from you all. You all were wonderful. Please, like I said, feel free to email me, follow me on social, ask any questions that you have. And we'll look forward to seeing you all soon for the next Temple and Google mashup.
Okay, guys, before we wrap it up, just want to use this opportunity once again to thank each and every one of you for keeping it a day with us. Soleil, thank you for a wonderful presentation. I think without further I will just draw the curtain off for the day. Thank you guys, and do enjoy the rest of the day. Bye-bye.
Bye.